And a good Wednesday to all of you out there on CWTAP. It's time for the Corner Kick. Alex Fidrashevsky and JJ Pepe.
Alex, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I am excellent. We are just a few days from Thanksgiving, one of my favorite holidays of the year.
One of my least favorite holidays of the year. I am not a Thanksgiving person.
That's because you don't like to eat as much as I do.
I don't like turkey. To quote Ben Franklin, it is inferior fowl.
Well, growing up, when the household that I do, when I go to Nona's, we'd have the 6-course Italian feast and then barely have room for turkey.
That sounds better.
See how much better things would have been if the Italians would have founded Thanksgiving? We'd be having lasagna, stuffed shells.
That would have been far better.
Salad,
I would rather
cannoli.
have a grilled branzino with a nice little lemon squeeze, some broccoli rabe. How about some asparagus? That would be great. There's not enough greens on Thanksgiving, and not that damn green bean casserole.
You gotta make your greens. Gotta get your broccoli out.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know why. I'm just not a Thanksgiving person. I never have been, and I never will.
Well, the enjoyable part about Thanksgiving this year is it coincides with Europa League.
Well, most of the time it's a Europa League Thursday.
Not all the time. When it's not, it's very disappointing.
Oh, that's the worst Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that was last year.
I've always enjoyed that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Give me a Europa League Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I could care less about the NFL and all the tradition of America's team. Well, America's team is El Tri, but that's a whole nother story. Listen, I would rather watch Tottenham play Tromsø above the Arctic Circle.
Well, you get to see Villa play Young Boys.
Better watch out for Young Boys.
12:45.
Young Boys are a decent team.
They took them down in the Champions League away last season. Now they're coming to Villa Park.
Do you know there are other boys across Europe? In the Netherlands, there are quick boys.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, there are a number of hyphenated old boys, young boys.
Well, I know that there's Newell's Old Boys
Newell's
down
Old
in,
Boys,
was that
yeah.
Chile or
They're in Argentina.
Argentina?
Newell's. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
right, Argentina.
So before we get into the show, you had for Cancer Sport Community, you had the Holidays for Hope.
Yeah.
How did that go this weekend?
It was an excellent event. It was a great way to kick off the holiday season. We had a nice little tasting trail. We had some local wineries and distilleries out sharing their wine and spirits for guests. We had an excellent dinner. We were at the Delta Hotel. They did an excellent job with the food. We had a very nice program. Recognized long-term partners, departing board members. We got to see, some of our partners, our members, some people from, our friends and family came. So it was just a very pleasant evening and a great way to end the event year.
Yeah, and it was nice to see that Chris Gillis is now a major part of the Cancer Sport
Yeah, on November.
He's the president now?
Yeah, November 20th. He was elected president of the board of directors.
Jeremy Brescia on there as well.
Yep, vice president.
Woo!
Yep.
The Four Horsemen, that's right.
So that'll be that puts the ship in good hands, in terms of our board, and they've been really moving forward with speed. So it's going to be a fun couple of years coming.
We're going to dive into the show here, get things started. Thanks to our great sponsors, Azar's Supermarket. I was just over there today, stopped in to see them. They're starting to stock all of their Christmas wreaths and all that. You can put in your orders now. Do it early. If you'd like to get your meats and cheeses and all of your meze from them, if you want to get your pre-cut meats and things, make sure you get those orders in early, folks, because as they get closer to Christmas, it does get a little crazy in the butcher section there. So stop by, see them, let them know that CWTAP sent you. Freshest fruits and vegetables in the Lehigh Valley. I'm a regular shopper of Azar's Supermarkets. Make sure you check our Facebook every week for all the great deals. And starting up here in a couple of weeks, we're going to be showcasing them in a TV commercial as well this week at Azar's, all of those great sales. So right now, head over to the CWTAP Facebook page. And tonight we are at X Golf, 80 Kunkel Drive in Easton. A couple more times. We're working on some new sites, some exciting developments there. Had a site approved today.
Ooh, I do not know this yet.
So we'll be going somewhere else in January for a little bit.
Okay.
So I'll tell you about that as the time gets nearer.
All right.
And very excited to take the show on the road for a little bit. As we get started with the show, we should introduce the course. The course behind us this week is the historic 9th hole at Oakmont Country Club. JJ does not know where the Oakmont Country Club is.
I should. I've
and
seen
it was
it on
selected.
TV.
It was selected by me for a very, very specific reason.
It's not Illinois, is it?
It is not in Illinois.
Wisconsin?
No, it is not in Wisconsin.
It's not on the East Coast, is it?
It is not in the East Coast.
Okay. At least I'm not losing my marbles.
It is where the East Coast meets the Midwest.
Ohio?
No, it is not in Ohio.
Indiana?
It is not in Indiana. It was selected for a very, very specific reason based off of something that happened on Saturday.
Jeez.
In the soccer world.
Is it in Pittsburgh?
It is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, home of the USL champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who only gave up 0 goals in the playoffs. That's right. They shipped none and scored 1.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that.
The champions of
Yeah.
the USL. 26 long years from Chartiers Valley to that beautiful stadium that's coming on the south side. Congratulations to Tuffy Schallenberger and everybody out there with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I'm sure they're still celebrating. I want to know when Mayor Gainey on his way out the door is giving them a parade. They deserve one. It is the city's first championship in 8 years.
Penguins, right?
Pittsburgh Penguins were the last one's 2017. Time to give the Riverhounds their due, though I will say the Penguins always put up on the scoreboard when they're in season. It's like, Riverhounds win tonight. They have a very strong partnership between the Penguins and the Riverhounds. They get along pretty well, it seems.
Well, that's good. And, I mean, Pittsburgh, it's a great city. I've been there. You toured me around a little bit.
There is more to do.
Yeah.
We've only begun.
But you have your pillars there, you know. The Penguins, the Steelers. I mean, you can say the Pirates, but you know, sometimes they've been good once in a while the last few years.
Standing room only every game this season.
Yeah, and then
in the Riverhounds.
Yeah, and
They
you got
did
the
well.
Riverhounds. So it's a nice little core of sports out there.
Yeah, they set a club record in the Eastern Conference Final for attendance. There were some fire code issues probably there for that one, but they did what they had to do.
Yeah, and then you know, they got what they're going to bump it up to the 15 for Division I status. Coming up in a couple of years.
We are going for opening night. When that stadium opens, we're there.
All right. Yeah. Well, it'll be in March or April.
It'll be a frigid evening on the Monongahela River, but we're going to make it work.
It won't be that bad.
No, and the trains will be coming by. You'll still be able to see the trains, and they'll still maybe honk the horn.
Yeah, I'll find a way to keep warm.
Yeah, there's a little pub at the end of the ground that will still be open in the new ground, and the standing room will still be there. They're not getting rid of it, so it's going to be great.
Good.
Let's get started with the show. The topics, they are scrolling, World Cup qualifying. We want to talk a little bit about that in the U.S. national team. Some big news over the weekend that broke related to Cameron Carter-Vickers. Get into that. And then, of course, Club of the Week. The name game, our favorite game to play here. We only have a club this week. Next week, I'll give you a player.
Okay.
And I'm working on one. I think I've got a good one. Let's start things off here. World Cup qualifying madness. Scotland, the final breath, downing Denmark. We didn't really get a chance to dive too deep into it because it was all unfolding right after we filmed.
It was the day after we filmed last week because we had the Irish on the Sunday and the Scots played on the Tuesday. They were at Hampton in Glasgow, so they're at home. The Danes were coming to town. You thought Scotland may have lost a little trick with their dropping to Greece there. The Danes were ahead, so Scotland had to win. Denmark only needed a draw to go through. And, I mean, what a way to start. Scott McTominay gets up on his bike 3 minutes in between defenders, giving Scotland the lead. They hold it through halftime. They give away a penalty. It's 1-1. They score with less than 15 to go, and the lead lasts 4 minutes. Danes equalize. Scotland have to score. I mean, it felt like the Ireland match all over again. And then off of, I think it was a poor free kick. It was kind of cleared. and it was sent in, and the clearance wasn't the greatest. And it rolled out to Kieran Tierney, and he unleashed a shot. It bent. If you watch the replay, the guy on Denmark has his chin tucked in, and the ball almost grazes his nose. That's how close it was to being blocked. A second Denmark defender couldn't get his body right to block it, and this thing curls inside the far post. And Hampton and all of Scotland goes absolutely ballistic. But it's stoppage time. So now you go into, I think there was supposed to be like 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time. I think 5. This was scored in the 3rd minute. Now all of a sudden you have no idea how much time is left. Yeah. And it just seemed like the referee was just, the game was going on and on and on. Eventually, Scotland gets control of the ball in their own half, and it comes out to McLean. And if you listen to, I think it's BBC 3, and Scotland had the match, you hear the color guy going, "Shoot, shoot!" And he's, near the halfway line. Well, he looks up and he shoots. And as the camera goes, you see Kasper Schmeichel running back because he was off his line. Ball goes in. Everybody's going crazy. It was the last kick of the match. Scotland qualify for the World Cup. The first time since 1998.
In the most dramatic way possible, right? I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better finish to that one.
It was... After all the drama with Ireland, then you come 2 days later and you put that up. Again, deep in stoppage time. Need the goal, get the goal. It was a fantastic ending. We were here last week, and I was saying, we got the Irish in the playoff. We need to get Scotland in so they don't have to go to the playoff. They're in. Italy's in the playoff. And so we got a shot here to get some of these teams that we want in
this is
into
way
America.
This is way too early. We've got a couple months before we get there. But let's take an early look at Path A, B, C, D. Let's look at these playoffs. Obviously, Italy's in Path A.
Yeah.
Northern Ireland is their opponent. Wales and Bosnia are on the other line. I fancy Italy to get past Northern Ireland. And then what do you make of the second game?
The problem is this isn't the old Italian sides we're used to. This is a side that's okay. They were riddled with injuries this past window, and that's gonna tell you what's gonna happen. It all depends on those players available. What I thought was interesting was, if Italy win and Wales win, the match is in Cardiff.
Yes.
Even though Italy was in Pot A, they still drew for where the final would be play. So,
which I don't understand that.
I don't either. To me, if you're in Pot 1, you deserve the home match.
Yeah.
I think Italy going to Wales could be a problem. I think that could be a big problem for them. This is going to be dicey. This is going to be real dicey because go back to the last two. They lost to Sweden at home, in second leg at home, and then they lost to North Macedonia at home in the one-legged playoff when they gave up like the 89th minute goal. So they have to be very careful. This is not a cakewalk for them for sure.
Look at Pot B, Ukraine, who cannot play at home. Play most of their home games in Poland.
Right.
Against Sweden, Poland taking on Albania. From my perspective,
it's cakewalk for Poland.
This is the best draw that could have possibly happened
for any of the one seeds. And Poland got it. And I was hoping that was going to be Italy's group.
I mean, truly, for them, they couldn't have asked for a better matchup. I know Albania has given them some fits because they're so physical and scrappy. But first game's going to be in Warsaw. Should get past that.
Yeah.
My hope, this is as a Polish fan, Ukraine beats Sweden. The second game's going to be somewhere in Poland.
The flip side is Sweden have Graham Potter as their manager, which means if they win the first game, it's probably 0-0 and they win on penalties because Sweden are awful.
Right.
They have been so bad. They're only there because of, I think, the Nations League. They have been so bad. It's shocking. Did they even get a point? What, they get 2 points out of the group?
2 points out of the group.
2 points, both against Slovenia. They are so bad. Just because it's not at home, I would still put my money on Poland to take out, either Ukraine at home or Sweden away. I think for them, we'll be seeing them here, come June.
I think they're in a good spot. Mm-hmm. Path C and D are interesting to me. I think D is kind of the group of death in this thing. I think Turkey should get past Romania, and Kosovo's an oddball in this because the whole team's a diaspora. Mm-hmm. Right? Very few of their players in Kosovo are actually born in Kosovo. Mm-hmm. Most of them are refugee guys who are in Germany, Switzerland, wherever. Yeah. They're deceptive. Mm-hmm. They're going to be better than most people think. Mm-hmm. I still think Slovakia gets past them, and it's a roll of the dice. Path D is where things get really interesting to me because I think Macedonia can beat Denmark, and the Republic can beat the Czech Republic.
Wouldn't that be nice? I would send them to Dublin for the final. For the final. I think while North Macedonia could do it, I think the Danes have enough. I
think my biggest
the Republic
red flag
got the most probably the most difficult of the 2 seeds. I think the Republic got.
Yeah, I don't think they could have asked for worse.
Yeah.
I mean, Wales obviously has Italy that they need to tangle with, and Bosnia is not going to be easy. But
yeah, the Republic and the Czech Republic is difficult. But, hey, if you can go, hey, they just went to Hungary and got something. Again, it's hard because when we get closer and see who's fit and who's not, that's what's going to determine this.
Right. I think this is why you just put this little brush on it right now, and then we see where we're at come March. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because that's going to be, when the rosters come out 10 days before, we'll know who's in and who's out.
Yeah.
CONCACAF, what a gift we got at a CONCACAF World Cup qualifying because we went into this night with like 6 different possibilities that could have come out of it.
Yep.
And as far as I'm concerned, we got 2 out of the 3 that I was hoping for, right? Curacao locks it in against Jamaica in Kingston, gets the result. Smallest nation ever qualify for the World Cup.
Yep.
And minutes later, Haiti punches their ticket to the World Cup. And it was such a great night to watch the World Cup qualifying from CONCACAF because it was just every storyline and every twist and turn, and then to watch Suriname just implode.
That was the one when we spoke last week. That was
the
one we said to watch out for because you're going. They were away. They had the hardest task. Honduras had to go to Costa Rica. But Costa Rica, this isn't Costa Rica from what we remember. Guatemala, good side, not the greatest, but at home, they just have a way to lock you in. And it's what happened. Suriname got blitzed. What was it, 3-0?
Yeah,
I believe it
3-0,
was. Yeah, they were never really there, I thought.
And in spite of that, Suriname survives, right? They make it on to goal differential, I believe.
It was goal differential or goals scored?
Oh, it might have been goals scored.
I got it up here. It's goals scored. They were both, Suriname and Honduras, were both at +3. Honduras only scored 5 goals in 6 matches. And they're playing 0-0 with Costa Rica. Suriname scored 9 goals in 6 matches. So they're both +3. So at that point, Suriname gives up the 3rd. And you're probably going, okay, this is probably done and dusted. And then they don't give up the 4th. And Honduras, they needed to win as it went down. And they didn't do it. If they would have won, they would have qualified. Would they've gone through automatically? I believe.
I believe they would have.
So Costa Rica 0-0 in San Jose, and that knocks Honduras completely out of the World Cup.
And this all happened in the span of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was incredible to watch this. I watched it on CBS. Mm-hmm. And Nico Cantor doing the whip around was just fantastic. And I'm a big Nico Cantor fan. I was also a very big Andres Cantor fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It runs in the family there.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to be a very good soccer commentator.
Yeah.
But man, what an end to that. And then we're not done with qualifying yet. There's more.
Well, just before we go there, I think it's worth mentioning about Haiti. Haiti has not played a home match in qualifying.
Correct.
While designated the home team, they never played at home because of all of the issues in the country.
Didn't they play in Curacao?
Yes. They have been playing in Curacao. 1,500 people were at the match against Nicaragua when they won 2-0. No true home support. They've done it. They did a fantastic job. And you saw them huddled around the phone, waiting, watching. And when it came through that Costa Rica and Honduras, the final whistle blew at 0-0, you just see the elation on the players, and you stop to think, if the World Cup was still 32 teams, scenes like what we saw in Budapest and what we saw at Hampton and what we just saw in Curacao for Haiti and in Kingston for Curacao,
right?
Probably wouldn't be happening.
No.
I think the only would have happened would have maybe been Scotland, but there would have been more teams in the group, which meant more chances to lose points. Because there were less groups with more teams in them. So very interesting. So it's the one good thing about the 48 is, and we're going to talk about a few more countries now who made the Interconfederation playoff, who probably wouldn't have had a sniff either.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Right? And many more great deals throughout the store come to the Interconfederation playoffs in March in Mexico. So now we have had the draw set up based off of the rankings. Mm-hmm. The seeded sides on the top line, it's Democratic Republic of Congo. Mm-hmm. On the bottom line, it is Iraq, a scrappy bunch of players. Mm-hmm. The teams participating in the semifinals on the Congo line, which was the one you wanted to avoid.
Yeah.
Jamaica plays New Caledonia. And for Jamaica, the worst of the matchups, again, because it was Congo was the one you didn't want. I expect fully Jamaica to get past New Caledonia without any issues whatsoever. However, that next match against Congo, I think they are outclassed in that game. On paper, the Jamaican national team has it. They have everything that should qualify to the World Cup directly. When it comes to being together, Jamaica can never figure this thing out. It's been ages since they have. And we are so far removed from 1998 that the reggae boys are not the same reggae boys anymore.
I don't think these sides are as good. Listen, if you can't top your group when the U.S. and Mexico are not even in qualifying, and at this point you could say Canada because it qualified for the last World Cup, you've got issues. I mean, I don't.
Well, and that's what I bring up. I think it's the paper depth that they have. If you look through their player pool, is there, but they can't put it together.
I don't think so. I don't think they're that good. Well, they beat New Caledonia, yeah, but I don't think that. The Office isn't what it used to be. I don't think they're as good. And they were in a group
that they should have won.
I don't think so. I think the
Okay.
right team won the group.
See, and I think then we'll have to respectfully disagree on that.
Steve McLaren, wrong manager. He's out.
But
He's resigned.
out of the three groups, they couldn't have asked for an easier one.
But I think they were lumped in. I think it was the group of death based off of they were all not good.
How dare you disrespect Bermuda?
It was the reverse group of death. Instead of being all the hardest teams, it was the worst teams. I mean, if you look at...
It was like looking for a survivor out of this thing.
Kind of. It was like who's going to stumble into the World Cup.
Oh, it's like
Because
it was like Fall Brawl 1998 with the Ultimate Warrior trying to come back.
The only... Panama, I think, had the easiest group being the strongest team. If you would have taken Jamaica out and put Panama in there, Panama would have cakewalked that group.
Yeah, they wouldn't have lost the game.
Yeah, Jamaica would have been over. Suriname would have qualified for the World Cup. Put Jamaica in the other one, Haiti's still qualifying for the World Cup. And I think they're finishing third behind Honduras and probably second behind Suriname.
But again, I think if
Maybe third. Going to Guatemala,
then
they're
does
not going to win.
That further reinforce the statement that Congo was not the one you wanted.
I don't think it would have mattered. I think if Jamaica would have been playing, say, Bolivia, I think Bolivia would have beat them. That should, I think.
I actually think that's going to be an interesting game.
It is.
Suriname and Bolivia.
But here's my question, and I didn't look it up. How many thousand feet above sea level?
Oh, they did.
Is Guadalupe? Where they playing?
They did. They're playing at Monterey.
Monterey.
It's a third of the height.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Apparently, the one that they were hoping to have for them would have been Zapopan, which would have been Guadalajara.
Guadalajara. Okay.
Which would have been like double the altitude. So let's just look this up. They are going to be playing 1,600 feet above sea level.
Oh, that's not enough.
And Guadalajara, Zapopan is 5,100.
They would have preferred the 5,100.
That's the one that they needed because
Yeah.
they're like what's it like 13,000 or it's like Mount Everest, like
Well,
it's not high enough.
because it's not high enough, Suriname has a shot. I think Congo, no matter what the draw was, I think they were going to go through. On the other side, I mean, you got to right now.
I think the playoff first round winner could potentially beat Iraq.
They could. That's the
I-
one
I-
where
I'm
you
not
could
gonna
get the playoff. I don't think New Caledonia or Jamaica.
Well,
I don't think anybody of the four could beat Congo. I think
New
Congo's
Caledonia
too
is
good.
just happy to be there.
Yeah. Hey, we made the Intercontinental
Well,
playoff.
and under the current setup, in Oceania, you're playing for second.
Yeah, because
You're not beating New Zealand.
Well, it's like the old way. It was always
It was
it's going to be Australia.
Maybe every 3 cycles, New Zealand will beat them.
Yeah, and then it became Australia's gone. Well, New Zealand's going to the World Cup or to the playoff. Now New Zealand's automatically in. So it's hey, we get a crack at it.
So, March is going to be interesting, and it's all on March 26th and March 31st.
Yeah, it's in that window. It's in the March window. Now, the knock-on effect, because we have the World Cup draw coming, and I know we'll probably talk about it more next week, but the knock-on effect is all these playoffs, everybody's in pot 4.
Italy is in pot 4.
If they win, they are a pot 4 team. The Danes are a pot 4 team. This is my understanding of it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it changed, right?
I think that's how it would work. So, I mean, you could end up theoretically, if you look at this, worst case scenario of pot 4s would probably be Italy, Poland, Turkey, and the Danes or the Czechs. I mean, that's a brutal pot 4.
Yeah.
And then you could throw, Congo in there as well? Mm-hmm. And then
And whoever's left.
whoever's left. But, I mean, you start doing the worst case scenario setups. This could be.
England.
I'm not going there, but
Colombia. Pick give me like a maybe I don't know the pots, but they did it.
they had it
They
up somewhere.
selected them.
They were shown, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's.
I'm going to try to find it. Where's the draw? Yeah, they like pulled the pots down.
Oh, boo.
Let's find them while we are here.
World Cup draw pots. There they are.
Confirmed pots for the 26 World Cup. Pot 1. Obviously, the hosts. I mean, let's get into the United States with this, too. This is a great transition because there's some things to talk about.
Okay.
Before we get to the – you want to do the pots first, and then we'll talk about the U.S.?
Yeah, pots first.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say worst-case scenario, United States. Let's start there. Okay. Worst-case scenario is we are pot 1.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my worst-case scenario pot 2 opponent is Morocco. I think that is the worst matchup we could get out of that.
I would. Oof.
Croatia is in there, and I would say like
Colombia.
A Japan or a Colombia could be tough. Right now, they've ridden the wave. I'm going to still say Morocco.
They will give us Ecuador.
That will be the frozen.
Yes.
The frozen ball. Pot 3. I think this is a very simple. Norway would be for me.
I still think the Scots.
For the United States?
We talked about that last week. Norway, I get they have Holland. They're good.
We don't have anybody who can stop him.
But here's what you have to remember when we talk. Well, we'll talk about it in a little bit. You're not thinking the right. I saw the notes. There's one little twist that you got to remember with our center backs. We'll get to that. We're foreshadowing. Was that Wayne's World?
I mean, pot 4, if they make it, the worst thing that can happen in the United States is Italy.
I'd say any of the European sides you don't want.
Nor would I want Congo.
Yeah.
Like Bolivia, Suriname, Iraq.
Ghana's down there. We will be given
Haiti.
Jordan. In pot 3.
So you are tinfoil hatting this thing right now. Okay.
So
now we have to extrapolate this. So your tinfoil is Ecuador, Jordan, and if you're playing the game, is it South Africa?
Tunisia.
Okay.
That's my right now.
I could see it. I could see it.
But, I mean, take us out of there. You could be looking at a group, a couple. Argentina, Morocco, Norway.
Congo,
Italy.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. And thank goodness they got their heads on straight at the last World Cup after the final match days. And they took out the groups of 3 and they went back to groups of 4 because I think only 2 countries were eliminated by the time the last group games rolled around, and everybody was playing for everything.
Worst possible setup for a group: Canada, Australia, South Africa, Curacao.
You can't.
Oh, you can't have
Can't
two.
have CONCACAF.
New Zealand. They're all separate. New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, and Canada.
Tickets would go for like $6 Canadian.
That would be probably the worst
group
assembled.
Because I mean, you look at pot 1, and I know that they're a better country, but the U.S. okay,
Your host,
Mexico, they're not playing well, but okay, they got history. But Canada,
that's like a pot 3
They've
team.
qualified for one World Cup since '86, and now they're in, and they'd be pot 4. They'd be pot 4.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So now that we've gotten that little tidbit out of the way,
Yes.
friendlies, listen, we take that with a grain of salt. The Paraguay game, the drubbing of Uruguay, yeah, they look good. But
they played well, and as we said, last summer didn't matter. The Gold Cup, none of that mattered.
This is
September
too.
didn't matter. October's when it mattered. That's when it started. Because Pochettino now is really running the rule over players, and the players also know.
This is, for some of them, this is their last shot.
We're running out of time. I need to make sure you have a manager that is going to take, I'm not going to say the 23 best players, because that's never true. He's going to take the 23 players that he thinks makes up the best squad. And he has no loyalty to any of them.
But I think
zero.
And see, to me, that is what we need at the head of the U.S. national team. You can't have a guy who coached in Major League Soccer come into the national team. There's going to be too many ties. And you need a guy who's from overseas that comes in, and when Donnie Sockers and Landy Cakes are sitting there going, oh, we need to have 9 guys, he goes, there's the door, get out of my office. And you're going to, well, we'll get you fired. Okay, that's fine. I'll go coach in the Premier League for 5 times the money next year.
Yeah.
And that's where Poch is going. We know that. He's leaving.
Yeah, and I think, too, I mean, it's also the second cycle syndrome isn't around. When the Bruce first took over, he was a DC United guy, but he picked a great squad for 2002.
Then he picked, well, that's it.
Then it was like Lippi after he won the World Cup in 2006. In 2010, when they brought him back, he pulled those players that he was familiar with. The Bruce did that in 2006. There are too many familiar faces. Bob Bradley in 2010, even though we underperformed, he had probably one of the best squads you could put together of American players. He didn't manage them well, or to me, nearly good enough, but he knew it. He was out by the time they lost the Gold Cup final to Mexico because he was not integrating new players. Jurgen, 2014.
Had a good run.
Good run. They keep him on, and he played weird tactics with the same players. He had a couple new ones, but again, it was that constant, I need to keep these guys here. Like there's one name on the roster. That's Christian Pulisic. That's it.
Who scored the winner
in the Milan
Derby this weekend.
He's the only player on there. The only way he does not go is if, and we're not going to,
something happens.
Yes.
There's a word we will not use about him.
Yes,
and it is the only reason he will not make it.
It's the only way he won't go. Otherwise, he's going. He could not score another goal from Milan until the end of the season. He's still going.
He's still going, yes. And I think when we hit March, we're going to have a very good idea of who the 26 are going to be. Belgium and Portugal. You're gonna. I think it's not going to be you're gonna know and this is locked in, but you're going to know who 20 of them are.
And by the way,
the last 12 guys are fighting for 6 spots.
And you got up here on your side. I got it on mine. What great opponents they've booked in the run-in. The March matches, Belgium and Portugal, excellent. Somewhere between June 5 and 7, because it'll depend on where Germany is drawn and where they, which date they're playing. But they're playing Germany, which is the final match. They're going to Chicago because Chicago didn't take the World Cup, so they're going to go there. And then just before that, they're still going to find. They're still looking. They left it open.
I mean, that's a whole nother conversation about not taking it.
Yeah,
just stupidity.
Well,
but
that's okay.
That's another topic
that's okay.
for another time.
It doesn't need to be there. Our cities are great that were selected. They left one match window open before Germany at the end of May. Going to be down in Charlotte.
And that's the warm-up.
That's the first of the two, with Germany being the second.
And I still think you're going to get a good opponent.
I think they're waiting for the draw.
And then you get somebody.
I think they're going to pull either a South American or an African team, depending on who's in there. And if it's South American team, listen, this is Poch. He's looking at Argentina.
Brazil.
He's looking at Brazil.
Yeah.
He's not looking at Paraguay or Ecuador.
Maybe
if they're
Colombia?
not in our group. I don't think so.
No, it's Argentina,
I think it's one of the
Brazil.
big two. If it's not, he's looking at, I get to say it, the Côte d'Ivoire.
Right. Get a power
or a Morocco,
yeah,
or an Egypt.
yeah.
Because hey, Egypt still got it solid, even though he's not playing well right now.
Right. So you're going to have 3 European teams, and you need another look.
I think so. I think that's what they'll do.
You either need the skill from one of those, or the physicality and pace that's going to come from one of the African sides.
And they probably already have the feeler out, but we can't be drawn in the same group.
Right.
Because they can't play on May 29 and then play again on June 12.
Yeah. Well, I would assume at this point they know. There's a list.
Yeah.
There's a preferred list. There are contracts. They're not signed. And they're just waiting.
And I think both of those countries that they're talking to, there's another one involved.
That if this falls, you play this guy, and we play here, and you're going to Harrison, and somebody else is going.
And it could be Germany, which means one of those two teams is going to be from pot 1. That's why I think it's Argentina or Brazil. They're going to pull a pot 1 team from there.
I mean, what a great way to prepare.
Yeah.
But
those are 3 pot 1 teams.
And as much as we were, we've gone back and forth about are you pressing a panic button? The way the Federation and Potch have scheduled the opposition has been good. I know September and October were kind of throwaways, but you still got South Korea, Japan, Ecuador, Australia. These are teams that have qualified. It's not like they went out and said, we're going to play Estonia, right? And I know it was B team-ish here and there, but Paraguay, Uruguay, and now you're ready for the big boys. These are all contenders to make quarters, if not semis or finals.
Oh, you're going to be playing a country too. They're going to expect to win it. Depending on that draw, Germany's going to go there. They still expect to win. Portugal's going to go there expecting to win. Belgium, they're going there expecting to win.
And then if it's Argentina or Brazil, they expect to win.
And you know what? They could just put either of those in because they're both pot 1 teams. Those 3 European nations are all pot 1. So if you put in Argentina or Brazil, who wants to play, that's it. You got your 4. You don't have to worry about the draw unless they're holding out for a possible African side. We shall find out.
Quick hit about the squad.
Yeah.
Center back.
Yes.
Cameron Carter-Vickers confirmed the torn Achilles.
Yep.
He is out.
Yes.
For the season, he is off the World Cup roster. There is now some opportunities there. This opens a roster spot. Who looks to fill that hole? The center back depth chart right now, from what we've seen over the last 12 months, is now down to 6 players for probably 4 spots, maybe a 5th one, depending on how they go. Miles Robinson, who could also double at outside back. Tim Ream, who, well, I don't know if he can double at outside back anymore. The pace isn't there, but I think Ream is in because he's the glue guy. He's the veteran, the grizzled vet.
He's in the squad.
Does he play? I don't know, but he's in the squad.
Yeah.
Then you've got Chris Richards, who, as long as
Palace are fine and he's doing well.
Richards, as long as he's healthy, is in the squad. Mark McKenzie is starting every match for Toulouse. McKenzie in the squad, probably pushing for the other starting role now that Vickers is out. There's 2 other names out there, and I think, in my opinion, it's those 2 for 1 spot. It's Austin Trusty of Celtic and Walker Zimmerman from Nashville. Zimmerman's been there before, but we watched him take down Gareth Bale with a football tackle in the box, and I have my opinions about Walker Zimmerman never leaving when the offer to go to, I think it was Fenerbahce or Galatasaray was on the table. He stayed in MLS, fine, got the money, good for him. Miles Robinson took the bag as well. And he's not in Atlanta anymore, he's in Cincinnati. But that's where we're kind of at. You look at the crop. Now you're depending on Richards. He's the anchor. Who's next?
You're forgetting something. Pochettino has switched to 3 at the back. He has not been playing 4.
He could drop 2 of them technically.
But if
in that case, you could take 4, not 5.
He's going to take 4, or if he has somebody like a Miles Robinson who can play on the left,
he's in.
He's in, because when you flip,
and you're
who was it? Arson, that he moved to the right and played fantastic. He had a really good,
and Freeman
good
played
match.
well too.
So, because of that,
you can chop that center back pool.
It's not as glaring. So it could be just 4.
And then and if it's just
and
4,
I would also say I don't think Carter Vickers was a shoo-in anyway. I think it's just one name off the list, but I think your starters were going to be, if it was still 4, Richards plus 1, and it wasn't going to be Carter Vickers. He wasn't called in, in September, before he was injured. He was always on the fringe,
which I never understood.
And what's helped Trusty is he's flown into the mix because Brendan Rodgers resigned or got sacked or whatever they agreed to. And then Martin O'Neill came in with who was with him? No, wasn't Sean Maloney, I don't think, but there was somebody else, and they were like co-caretakers, and they put Trusty in. Celtic are now on fire. Trusty's playing, and there's about to be another manager change, so that's going to be interesting too. So it's not as precarious than if we were still playing 4 at the back.
Right.
Playing 3. Now, you could also take one of these and post them out left. That's why I like Miles Robinson.
Who I think is a very good defender. Yeah. Again, I wish he left. He got hurt, all of that. But he is good enough to play at the World Cup. Yeah,
it's definitely going to be interesting. I think Zimmerman is on the out. Because of that change, I think he's out now unless somebody gets injured.
Just part of this. He's part of the group, but
for me, he's only part of the group if there's another injury. I think he's that far down for me. I think all the other players on your list there are so much better. It's 4 from those 5. He is if somebody goes down, he swings in. And don't forget, too, they'll probably name 30 because you get alternates in case somebody gets injured in the lead into your first match.
He could end up as an alternate.
Yeah.
For that roster. I did a little post-November thought process. From what we've seen from guys they haven't called in that we are assuming are in the squad, and I've constructed a 26. There's one more cycle to go. We're going to revisit this in March before the roster comes out. Then we'll see what happens after. And then I'll give you my final in April, what I would expect to see. As it stands right now, I watched Matt Freese last night stand on his head against Philadelphia. I watched the game because I wanted to see him again. There was a save he made on Milan Iloski, who cut the ball back, hit it far post, and he went full extension and came across with his backhand instead of this one. He had to come all the way across and parry the ball out of bounds. And I sat there and went, that's the guy who's the starter for the World Cup team.
I would have said that, and I didn't watch the match, and I would have said that because he has been solid for the national team, and for him to keep calling in and getting the starts means he's also solid for club. That match,
I like him.
Like you say, that probably reinforced it. I think after the World Cup, I think he goes.
I think he's gone.
I think he's going to give it a run.
But he's good enough.
Well, that's it.
I watch him making stops that, I know Matt Turner was our guy for a while, and I look at him just like, Matt Turner was never that guy. And I look at Freese, and when I see him, I see, maybe not like for like, but I see some tendencies that we used to see from a Brad Friedel, a Tim Howard, a Casey Keller, Marcus Hahnemann, these guys who were at that next step.
Yeah.
And there are stops he's making in MLS where I'm like, he can also make these stops in Europe and for the national team. The goalkeeper pool is weird right now. My personal opinion, I've been high on Roman Celentano, Bobby's cousin, not really his cousin, but member of the Celentano clan, since he was a kid and broke in. He's been a multi-year starter. He's very young still. And Schulte's been consistent for Columbus. So for me, I'm like, okay, over Turner right now, I would go with those two guys as my 3 goalkeepers. And maybe Turner's in that 30 as the 4th guy. That's where I'm at for keepers. Okay. I put this crop together of center, outside, back guys. I said Richards, McKenzie, Ream, and then you have Trusty or Miles. It could be both. Because Miles can play outside, and then somebody might get chopped in the middle of the park.
And you have to figure, and this stinks, but out of those 9 players you got there?
There were 9.
9 or 10?
10, I think.
10?
5-5. And it was like
Figure one or
there's
two
one or two won't
will
make
be
it.
injured.
Yeah.
And won't even be under consideration.
This was based off of if everyone's healthy and what we've seen so far. I know Anthony Robinson, he's been in and out, injured.
Yeah.
But if he's healthy, I think you're going to look at Dest, him, Scally, Arfston. I think Arfston and Freeman are going to the World Cup. I wasn't sure about it 2 weeks ago. I watched the last two friendlies. I think they should both be at the World Cup. And there will be somebody else that's an outside back that's going to be in the 30. Right now, I think it's John Tolkien.
Interesting.
He was in the squad.
Yeah.
He's playing in Germany. Getting minutes. And he went into a bad situation, too.
Where's he at?
Holstein Kiel.
He's at Kiel.
We're at the bottom.
Scally's at Mönchengladbach, right?
Scally's at Mönchengladbach.
He's got to be careful.
Yeah.
He's got to be careful.
I
think Dest, too. Dest is injury prone. If you ask me who on that list is likely to be injured before, it's going to be him.
It's going to be him, yeah.
You hope not, but he also has those moments where he just goes out to lunch, and then he gets himself sent off.
And that my biggest concern with Dest is that he has these moments of brilliance followed by, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
And, I watched him in that Costa Rica qualifier for 22, and he couldn't have played better. He hit the strike, the goal, and then, like you said, then the next week he's head up his rear. He's got to be careful probably with that, but if he's healthy, he's probably in. The middle of the park, I feel pretty confident about that as long as they're healthy, the crop that I listed are probably the guys. Tyler Adams, Weston McKennie, Tillman, Cardoso, Gio. Tessman, who I think has played great, and I think he has earned the trust of Poch. Pulisic, Weah, Aronson, and Luna. I have Eunice on the outside unless things change, who I think he's an incredible talent. But he's got to find pitch time, and he's on the outside for me. Though, I put this in the notes. Gio will probably get hurt twice more before May, and the door will be open for Morris, Eunice, and Dejas, whoever the heck else you want to talk about.
Is that Jordan Morris?
I think he was wasn't he in Landon Donovan's roster? No, it was Aiden Morris. Aiden Morris at Middlesbrough, the former young Columbus midfielder.
Weston McKennie has to be careful.
You think so?
Just the way Juve is, and he's been a little in and out. There's a lot of turmoil at that club right now, and that could
hurt him.
It could. They got to get through. They got to get through this period. They got to start getting some wins on the board.
If Gio is hurt right now, based off of looking at the other players in the middle of the park, who do you go with? Do you think there's enough offensively and you go with another defensive-minded player like a Morris? Or is it somebody like Zendejas who's starting and producing?
All depends on who's hurt. Because if you lose, somebody who maybe you were thinking about starting in as defensive midfielder or something, you got to bring somebody in to shield the defense.
Yeah. And here's a question. I mean, do you take another veteran from the domestic game?
No, you only need one old head. That's Tim Ream. He's good enough.
Because Landon Donovan thinks that he put his pre-roster out. He thinks Roldan should be going to the World Cup.
Landon Donovan thinks he should be going to the World Cup.
Landon Donovan thought he should have been going to the World Cup after he took 2 years off.
Yeah.
And then up front, it's cut and dry for me. Balogun, Pepe, as long as they're healthy, those are the four. Balogun, Pepe, Sargent, Wright.
Yeah.
I think
Josh Sargent has to be careful. Even though Norwich aren't playing well, he's still playing.
He is starting. He started this weekend.
He's nailed on starter right now.
For me, even if he's not getting the service right now, he's still getting 90.
Yeah, and that's it with some of these players. Doesn't matter if the club is, you hate to say it, but for World Cup roster, it doesn't matter if the club is losing.
As long as you're playing.
What matters is that you're playing and that you're being as effective as you can with your minutes. You could lose. Norwich could be losing 6-4, and Sargent could have a hat trick every game, but they're losing, But he hasn't scored since, I think, August.
I don't think there's anybody else in the strike force that's got a legitimate shot right now.
No, and you have to remember, too, you're classifying. You have people classified as midfielders in there who could push up. Timothy Way could push up.
Timothy Way could push
Pulisic
up.
could
Yeah.
could push up if you need two up top.
Yeah.
Depending on your substitution patterns.
Aronson could play
yeah,
forward. Yeah.
so that's-
Luna could play in a forward position.
Yeah. So it's one of those
There's
where
enough.
you
There's
got
cover.
enough. Yeah. You got enough. 4 strikers is probably enough. Because I don't think it's not like we have, and nobody really has 3 guys who are just scoring goals like they're going out of style.
No, that's
Even England have Harry Kane and the rest.
yeah.
Right now, Solly Watkins couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
I thought that it was a pretty solid roster for the last run through
Yeah.
of like this is your chance.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was anybody there that they brought in who shouldn't have had the opportunity. I was fine with Sebastian Berhalter getting one last shot. I don't know that he's World Cup player.
I don't think he is.
But I was okay with them bringing him in to say, this is your final audition. He didn't play terribly, but I think, hey, this is your shot. And even Roldan coming in a friendly where you know who the midfielders are. Here's the tip of your cap. Hey, man, you've done good for us. We'll reward you. You're
Yeah.
probably the best of the domestic lot. So here it is. But now the next go through, we're gonna have a real idea.
Yeah, and
of
one
who
or,
it is.
one or two of those guys were called in because other guys weren't brought in. Because they're the one. Pulisic wasn't brought in. Smart. Why bring him in? There was no need to. He just got back with Milan. You don't need to fly him back halfway, across the world to possibly get injured like you did in the last window.
Yeah. Well,
So Pochettino is smarter than where if it was
And I think-
Gregory with 7 Gs, he would have been calling in, all these guys because he had to form a cohesive unit, 8 months before the World Cup.
And I think too, he's done a good job since he's taken over of giving looks to some guys. And I think we know that there are guys who are down the line that he hasn't relied on in the last 7-8 matches that a cycle from now, Busio, Ben Kremaski, Maxi Dietz, Damian Downs, who we got to see, right? These are guys, maybe even a Patrick Adjamong, a cycle down is in there. We know what could be, that he didn't need to bring them in right now. But they've at least gotten their feet wet a little bit.
Adjamon's on the radar if something happens to one of the others.
I think he could play himself in, and as
Yeah.
in the 30, he
Bal-
could be the alternate
'Cause
striker.
Balogun, frequently injured.
Yeah.
So it's one of those you don't want anybody to get injured, but somebody will, and
Unfortunately,
sometimes
yeah.
it's more than one, and it's just he knows his players. I think he knows where he's going. I liked how angry he got during the press conference, post-game presser, when they were like, hey, you played well and you didn't have your regular players. And he went nuts. What do you mean regular players? That's the old school thinking of U.S. soccer managers.
Right, we have to
these
have
are my
the,
regulars. There are no regulars. Everybody
No, it's
fights
whoever's
for
hot at the
spot
time.
every
yeah.
time.
Yeah, I think that was good. I think as we get closer, we can break down a little bit more of like our neighbor to the north and the mess that is to the south. But
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about either of them.
no,
I'll
neither
be
of them,
honest.
they're not going to make any noise.
Canada can do what Canada's going to do in the World Cup. Mexico can do what they're going to do in the World Cup. I wish they would have brought Herrera back so we can see angry Herrera on the sidelines. But
His job was to glide Costa Rica into irrelevance.
yeah, but
Let's take a break.
yeah.
We'll be back with more of the corner kick after this.
The Barnyard Market, located on Route 100 between Macungie and Shimersville, has served the gardening needs of Lehigh Valley residents for many years. At the Barnyard Market, you will find a wide variety of garden plants, hanging baskets, lawn furniture and decorations, firewood, mulch, farm fresh eggs, garden tools, and more. The Barnyard Market prides itself on stocking seasonal local produce as well as fresh jarred products directly from Pennsylvania Dutch Country. The Barnyard Market is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can call the Barnyard at 610-966-2341. That's 610-966-2341. Be sure to visit their website at www.thebarnyardmarket.com, or even better, stop by the Barnyard Market on Route 100 between Macungie and Shimersville and view their plants, produce, lawn ornaments, and more personally. Don't forget to let Bubber and his staff know that you saw their commercial on CWTAP television. Be it spring, summer, or fall, the Barnyard has it all.
Hi, I'm Adam, and I made an appointment with Lifeline Screening to get my arteries examined for plaque buildup, so I can understand my risk for stroke and cardiovascular disease. Yeah, I'm a smart guy. The process is super easy. When you arrive at your appointment, you will first provide some medical history. Then, a Lifeline technician will call you back to your own private screening area. All you have to do is relax on the table. You don't even have to remove any of your clothes. The technician uses color flow ultrasound technology to measure the blood flow through the carotid artery. You can also get checked for peripheral arterial disease and get checked for an abdominal aortic aneurysm, test your heart rhythm for atrial fibrillation, and get an osteoporosis risk assessment. All of this can be done in a little more than 1 hour. When they're done, the technician will send the resulting images to a board-certified physician for review, and then you'll get the results within 21 days. It's easy, non-invasive, and affordable. Schedule your appointment today and get peace of mind or early detection.
Have you racked up over $15,000 in credit card debt? Do the collection calls ring nonstop? There's a solution to the situation the banks don't want you to know about. CuraDebt has over 20 years of experience and thousands of 5-star reviews. Call the CuraDebt Credit Solutions hotline today to see if you qualify. 877-835-0026. No obligation, 100% confidential. CuraDebt Credit Solutions. 877-835-0026. CuraDebt Credit Solutions now. 877-835-0026. 877-835-0026. Call today. Welcome back here to the Corner Kick on CWTAP. Alex Fidrishevsky, JJ Pepe with you. It is another Wednesday at X Golf in the fighting city of Easton. Behind us is Oakmont Country Club, home of the USL champion. I can say that all winter. Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Club that I proudly covered during my time there.
Yes.
Congratulations to them. Well earned. I got the Tuffy Schallenberger retweet.
Nice.
Because for the stat line, I put out that this was like the most Pittsburgh way to win a title. That it was like that this was straight out of the steel mills. And that they scored one and gave up none from the run of play. And that this should live in lore in the corner bars and Croatian fraternal union lodges for like years to come. This is one of the great Pittsburgh title wins, and he retweeted it. Tuffy, I love you. Send me a shirt. I want a title shirt. I will wear it, Tuffy, if you send it to me.
I like shirts too, Tuffy.
Send us two. He's coming to the opener when you got the new ground. Maybe I'll come for the opener next year. We should go to the opener next year. I want to be there with the banner.
We can see how that shakes out.
It's going to be a frigid February evening on the Mon.
I'm just looking at. I had to bring because you mentioned Pittsburgh. So the playoffs started when they played Hartford, correct?
Yes.
Pittsburgh actually went 6 straight matches without conceding. Going back
the last 2 of the regular
season.
Back
to the league. They beat Monterey Bay 3-0. In Phoenix, they played a scoreless draw. Then Squirrel Straw against Hartford, Squirrel Straw against Detroit. They beat Rhode Island a goal to nil, and then Squirrel Straw
In the final.
with Tulsa. And against Indy 11, before that Monterey Bay, they gave up 1.
So the last time they gave up multiple goals was what? Early?
October 4th
Yeah.
against away to Miami FC.
That's wild.
They lost 3-1 after having a 1-0 lead.
Stingy.
Very stingy. He gave up 28 goals in 30 regular season matches, and then it was 4 playoff. So he gave up 28 goals in 34 total matches.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's very good defending.
Yeah. Yep. Well done to them.
All right. Let the fun begin. There's some free.
Yes.
I have free for all topics. I'm sure you do as well.
Yep.
Club of the week.
Club of the week.
And I always go first with Club of the week.
Yes.
So my Club of the week is a London side.
Mm-hmm.
They were founded in 1946. The mighty Lions of Wembley FC. They wear yellow, red, and white. They play at the Vale Farm, a capacity of 2,450. So here we go. In the post-war football boom, many in Wembley were upset that there was no senior team in the area. They only had youth and amateur sides. So the team was formed, Wembley FC. They entered the Middlesex Senior League, spent their early years in local London leagues. They were led by defenders Tony Carroll and Arthur Percy through the first decade, because, of course, I found this information. And then they basically have no history after that. They spent 20 years within the Isthmian League in the 70s and 80s. They made an appearance in the FA Cup proper a couple times. In the 90s, they were relegated for the first time in their 50-year history. So it took 50 years for them to drop. They lost a star prospect named Giuliano Grazioli to Peterborough United. And apparently it just unraveled the whole thing.
The posh.
They were briefly sponsored by Budweiser. The company bought them a minibus and did clubhouse upgrades. And as Bud came in 2012, their FA Cup campaign was bolstered by a host of former accomplished professionals, including Claudio Canigia and Brian McBride. They currently play in the Combined Counties League, and I believe them to be a club which is ripe for investment for the right billionaire play toy. Not much history here. I couldn't find who had the most appearances or anything like that. Wembley FC.
All right.
Short from me this week. That means next week I will bring you some obscure team from Tajikistan that was founded during the Soviet era.
And I'll have 7 pages to listen to.
That's right.
All right. Are you ready?
I am.
For this team of the week, we go to the continent.
Ooh, okay. You're on the continent. You've left the Isles.
Left the Isles. We are on the continent. It's a club I like to keep an eye on. They are in the 2nd division of their country's leagues.
Club you keep.
Yep. I just keep a little.
I might know who it is. I think I know who it is.
Hope you didn't peek.
No.
It is.
Is there a beer named after them?
No. Not that I know of.
It's not St. Pauli?
No. No, and they're in the Bundesliga now anyway.
That's right.
This club is FC Eindhoven of the Netherlands.
I have never heard you talk about them before. You keep an eye on FC Eindhoven?
On the old Fat Mob because I want the Eindhoven Derby.
Oh, this is going to be good.
They currently play. Now, we have the name of the week segment. I kind of sabotaged myself. I got like 6 of them in here. So I'm going to get some practice.
Oh, like very long Dutch names.
Yep. They play in the Eredivisie. They were founded on the 16th of November, 1909.
Ooh.
The club is 116 years old. And their nickname is the Blauw-Witten, the Blue and Whites, or the Blue Whites. Their ground is the Jan Louvers Stadion that seats 4,600 people.
This is fantastic.
They were founded as EVV from a fusion of Sparta and Eindhovia.
This is excellent.
In 1921, and it was called a fusion. It was not a merger. It was a fusion of Sparta and Eindhoven. In 1921, they fused with Gestel, and became EVV Eindhoven. In 1954, they were the last Dutch league champions before the introduction of the professional league.
Wow. So there's a rich history to this club.
Yeah, they turned professional, but they were relegated a few years later in 1957. They were promoted back in 1975 to the Eredivisie. Then they were relegated in 1977, and that was the last time they played in the top flight, the 76-77 season. In the, I think it was the 30s to the 50s, they were the bigger club than PSV.
Okay.
In 1997, EVV Eindhoven itself went back to an amateur club as a new professional club. SBV Eindhoven kind of took their professional mantle. SBV Eindhoven, Stichting Betaald Voetbal Eindhoven.
You're getting good at this.
In 2002, SBV Eindhoven changed the name to the current FC Eindhoven. They, 7 times this century in the Eredivisie, they qualified for the promotion playoff. And they came up short all 7 times, twice in the final.
Oh, that's rough.
They blue and white stripe is their home kit. Their biggest rival, it was PSV. And they played in a derby called the Lichtstad Derby, which is the City of Light Derby.
And is it now like the Kazakhstan boys or something like that?
Well, be ready. The problem is they haven't played a league match since that 1976-77 season.
With
Because
PSV.
PSV's been in top flight.
They've been in top
the whole
flight.
time.
Yeah.
And somewhere in the 2000s, they signed a cooperation agreement with PSV that allows for youth player swaps.
Okay.
So they help each other out a bit. Today, their biggest rival is Helmond Sport. They're about 15 kilometers away, and they have traditionally both been in the Eredivisie.
I mean, there's really not a big trip in the Netherlands. It's like the size of Rhode Island.
I know.
Which, by the way, I was just in Rhode Island.
Well,
It was fantastic.
ladies and gentlemen, FC Eindhoven.
Speaking of the Eredivisie, oh my gosh, look who's in last.
Vitesse Arnhem.
They're terrible.
Well, they had a ridiculous points deduction. You have to look at the thing. They're only on 7. They've taken
3 points for withholding information, 3 points to late submission of information, 6 to previous short. Oh, they were minus 12 to start the season.
But the key was they
Well, they can't be relegated, so it doesn't
remember,
matter.
they were completely kicked out. And then they got the financing, and they let them back in, but they're not giving them a free pass. So they really hurt them on the points side. Basically, you're still penalized, but thank you for giving us 20 teams again in the Eredivisie.
I mean, they wouldn't be anywhere near the promotion group anyway, even with the 12 points.
Right, but they had to make sure.
Yeah.
But it's good that they're back. Yeah, and FC Eindhoven back to struggling, 16th place. But only 3 points out of ninth, which gets you in the playoff.
That was a European side when we were younger. Willem II was a
lot of these sides are.
The Graafschap used to be in the top division. Yeah.
Den Bosch, Den Haag, Cambuur.
Okay.
Yep, Venlo.
Venlo was in the top flight. Yeah.
Got to watch that one though. How you say tapas?
Oh, well done.
All right.
That was a good club of the week.
Thank you. I aim to please when it comes to club of the week.
And now comes the challenge of the day. Can you play the name game? If I was to give you a wager, You have not seen the name.
I have not seen the name.
What would you be willing to wager that you'll pronounce the name correctly? Perhaps an espresso?
2 bits.
2 bits. I think that can buy me 1 grape right now.
Cut in half.
Adjusted for inflation?
Yeah.
Are you ready to play the name game?
Let's play the name game.
Shall we? All right, fans at home, we play the name game. There's a team that comes up here now, and it is JJ's job to pronounce the team name. Starting next week, there will be a player name as well.
Oh, boy.
And JJ will have to pronounce the player name correctly.
All right. Let's go.
All right, here we go. The name of the week is now on the bottom of the screen. You can ask the spelling bee related questions.
Yes.
I will answer them as he did last week.
Country of origin.
Poland.
I knew you were going to say that.
I figured I would start with Poland and then we would go from there. There is only one accent mark. But I know
it's
that
on the L at the end.
it's on the L at the end.
Okay.
Remember, the L is a W. Maybe Tom would like to play the name game.
All right. I think I'm about ready to go.
I mean, there's a whole lot going on.
Oh,
in that
yeah.
first
There's a lot of
name.
letters.
Now, would you like to do this bit by bit, or you
I'm just going to go with how I can try and do this.
that like just break it down into like.
Yeah.
Sing song it like you're doing my last name, like it's Fid Ri Chef Ski. Start with, because that's about as many letters. The first word.
All right, ready? Podbeshkidzie.
It's not bad. That's not bad. I'm going to allow it.
I'm going to keep going.
Keep going.
Bielsko Biava.
That's not bad at all. That is very well done. That is good. Like, that is passable. That is passable. And I think that
So if I went up to some attractive Polish lady in the bar and I said that, she'd be like, that's pretty good.
first off, if you went up to an attractive Polish lady in the bar, she would look at you and be like, what is the... You'd be like, it's a soccer team. She'd be like, I have never heard of this team. Perhaps my brother knows, but I do not know this team. Are they in beer league? They play on Saturdays, yes?
So
your name of the week. Podbeskije Bielsko-Biała.
oh, okay.
So you were pretty good.
Yeah.
Podbeskije Bielsko-Biała. They were in the Ekstraklasa for a couple of seasons. They are currently, I believe, in Druga Liga, so they are in the 3rd division.
Mm-hmm.
Podbeskije Bielsko-Biała is currently in Druga Liga. They are in the 3rd division. They are called the Górale. They will be a team of the week at some point. They're fairly new. There's like a merger. They were founded in the 90s. Their current position in Druga Liga, which is the 3rd
What
division.
is that? Druid Liga?
Druga.
Oh, Druga.
Druga. They are... where is Podbeskije?
12th.
They are 12th. Podbeskije.
Come on, how can I find that before you?
They are one spot above the relegation playoffs, and in the relegation playoffs, one spot below them is a derby. Is Rekord the Bielsko-Biała. Wow. So there are 2 teams from Bielsko-Biała. They were founded around the same time, it looks like. They have a very interesting logo.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Worth also noting, the hot start of Hutnik Kraków has gone to hell. They are now in 15th and in the relegation zone.
So they've won none of their last 13.
And the team my father and his security business partner did not choose to invest in several years ago. GKS Jastrzębie Zdrój are 0-6-11 with a minus 22 goal differential, and they sit in last place. They will be in the amateur divisions next year. I think it was a good choice.
Yes. Good job, Coach.
So, I actually haven't looked at the standings in Druga Liga. Warta Poznań was in the Ekstraklasa not long
A couple
ago.
seasons ago, I remember them.
Sandetia Novosonch, so was Zagłębie Sosnowiec back in the day. I'm pulling for Podhale Novitarg up in the mountains. The sheep herders.
Did Poznan get relegated back-to-back?
Varta, I think they did a drop and a drop. Yeah, they were relegated out of Pierwsza Liga last year. So that I think they did a double drop. And they are now in the third division.
Druga Liga.
Druga Liga.
What's the one above?
Pierwsza Liga, the first division.
Pierwsza. Huh?
Pierwsza.
Pierwsza.
Pierwsza is the first. Pierwsza, it's like Greek, it's like Latin. There's like 8,000 declensions to say first. So yes, BetClick, sponsored by BetClick. And in first place in Pierwsza Liga right now by 7 points is Wisła Kraków, still.
A poor 0-0 draw on the weekend.
A very poor 0-0 draw on the weekend to Pogoń Siedlice. But that's okay. It was on the road. We take it, we move on, and we march towards promotion.
Still 10 points clear.
Yes, 10 points clear. Oh, that'll be a name at some point as well. The third place team may be we could have the second place team as a team of the week as well. Oh, this is going to...
Well, let's be honest. You could have every club in every division.
In Poland, yes. You know, we could probably do this out of like Slovakia as well. I could pull you a Slovak team from the third division. You'd be like, oh my gosh, what are you doing to me?
Isn't there just like FC Budapest?
No. And Hungarian is a great language too. It's like impossible to speak. It's Uralic. There are only 2 Uralic languages in Europe. Hungarian and Finnish.
Ooh.
And in Hungary, we're going to have a Hungarian player next week. I'm going to just go with it because the last name comes before the first name. And I'm going to do it the Hungarian way.
Nice.
So, like, Christian Nemeth played in MLS, right? For Kansas City, he was a prolific goal scorer. In Hungary, he is Nemeth Christian.
Ah, okay.
So we're going to come up, we're going to go there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's your name of the week. Club of the week, name of the week, and now it's time for the free-for-all.
The free-for-all. The playoffs resumed in MLS after a 3,851-day break, and it was round 2, leg 2 of the playoffs or something like that. And Miami will be hosting the final after New York knocked Philadelphia out, and it's a scrimmage, and then that's about all I got. I enjoyed watching Matt Freese last night.
Well, maybe
The standard was abysmal. Kevin Sullivan should have been on the field 20 minutes before he was inserted. Philadelphia needed him on the field, and he's the only good player that they had on the field.
I have no comment.
They're
'cause I
right
didn't watch
back,
the match.
Strickland, Shanklin, something. Westfield. It's a Philadelphia kid. Long way to go. Kid needs a lot of work. Some poor decision-making. Lots of athleticism. Poor decision-making. Watch him. He could be something. New York City is not that good. Maxi Morales kind of carried him through it, and I have nothing else about that match.
Okay.
Pep accosted a cameraman,
Yes.
Guardiola, at the weekend.
He says he is ashamed of the altercation with the cameraman.
Why? Like, what I wanted was, why did he yell at the cameraman?
I don't
Because he was being
know.
filmed after a match? And the cameraman was wearing an FC Dallas hat. I feel like this was a scripted occurrence. Why would an English cameraman be wearing an FC Dallas hat?
I don't know. Maybe the TV guys. Maybe he was brought over.
Maybe.
You know, never know. Or maybe he did some games here.
Of
And,
all chapeaus to wear,
Well,
FC Dallas would not be the one I would choose.
well, you can't choose somebody there. Couldn't be there in a Newcastle hat or a United hat.
No, he could have. But he could have been there in a Shamrock Rovers hat.
He could have been.
Do they sell Shamrock Rovers hats, or do they only just sell like the Peaky Blinders thing?
Well, that's Birmingham, so
Yeah.
you know. Oh, by the way, did you see the monstrosity that Birmingham City put out? for
Yeah,
their
I saw that
stadium?
at the stadium. Oh my gosh.
I seriously thought it
What's
was
it gonna be, like 60-something thousand?
60.
60.
They'll only get 30 if they're lucky. But when I saw it, I seriously thought, like, a lot of times rival supporters will, like, have a picture saying they're making a toilet bowl and stuff. I thought somebody from Villa was, like, having a wind-up.
No, that's the ground.
And that was it. I still doubt its validity.
I think it'll end up down to 40.
I still question that whole design. I question the validity of it. If that is really it is, and I'm not saying this because it's the Blue Noses, it truly is the ugliest stadium I've ever seen in my life. I would rather sit at that ground and have the train stop in front of me and never leave. It's awful. So
like the fake smokestacks coming out of it, and
that's why I'm not buying it, because
I mean, for me,
it's a stadium of glass attached to brick smokestacks.
If we're gonna go that way, just build the damn stadium out of brick like they used to. It would look so much better. I hate things built out of nothing but glass.
That's why
I'm a staunch traditionalist. I want old world architecture everywhere. And oh, by the way, folks, America was supposed to be Art Deco. That is my architectural rant, and I'm standing by it.
I don't get it at all. If that's what they go with, okay. They are going to be the laughing stock. But hey,
bizarre.
Good for them. Yeah, that's brutal. My eyes hurt. You brought up on the screen, my eyes hurt.
Paul Pogba played his first match in 2 years following his drug ban for the first time in 811 days.
He probably ran as much then as he ran during his, what was it, 811 days. Because the guy does not run on the pitch.
Such a Jekyll and Hyde player.
Lazy player.
Right? I mean,
lazy player.
At his best, scoring in the World Cup final. At his worst, no man-marking ability, poor touch, hampered by injuries, personal problems.
The best thing for him was when he was at Juve, because Pirlo did everything. He could just camp out on the left wing. And then once he was made, the center of attention, he had a couple good World Cup games in 18, and it was usually because somebody else was doing the hard work.
Given an initial 4-year ban for testosterone violation, cut to 18 months, and now back on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
His national team career is obviously done, right? We know that. That's done and dusted. But at 32... if he cares for himself, he could have 5 years of football left in him, maybe more. 40's a reality because he had 2 years off if he desires it. The problem is with Paul Pogba, I don't know that Paul Pogba ever really desired it to begin with. What reasonable goal for Pogba at this stage? Is it win a place in the Monaco 11 for a couple of years?
No, it's Saudi Arabia to make a lot of money that he lost in the 18 months he didn't
Take
play.
the bag, UAE, Qatar, Saudi.
Mm-hmm.
But Paul Pogba playing in Saudi, to me, is a very, very internally marketable move for the Saudi League. He is a practicing Muslim who has made the pilgrimage to Mecca several times. Forget what Paul Pogba can or can't do on the pitch or how many Al Nassr jerseys they're going to sell because of him. If that is where he ends up, it is probably internally for them more earth-shattering than like a Ronaldo. Because, I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo came in, that is the jersey bag across the world, right? But if Pogba integrates, right, they can market him really well in the Arabian Peninsula. I don't know that they would, but
I wouldn't go that deep because he's been out. It's...
I guess you're right. Benzema was there and is a practicing Muslim.
Salah was the guy. I don't think that plays into it too much.
No, I'm just saying it's an added bonus.
They just want the name recognition, or they wanted the name recognition. Salah was the
guy.
jewel.
Yeah,
and he decided, no, I wanted to stay and win the best trophies that I can.
Do you think he'll ever take the briefcase at the end? Like when he hits 38, 39.
Listen, if he doesn't pick it up soon this season, he better be looking over his shoulder. I mean, Liverpool are a shambles, and he is playing awful.
He's been
just
awful.
Like the rest of them.
He has been awful.
So I think it's just more of
does Liverpool get a pass this year, though?
No, there are no passes. There are no passes in the game we follow.
I get that, but emotionally, that team can't be. They're not the same after Jota died.
No,
Like I'm not giving you like the pass, but
No,
can you
they haven't been the same since they tapped up Isak.
that didn't help either.
You bring in Aditike for 70-something million. He's playing well. You finally get Isak for what, 130, and then he's not fit. He's come in. He can't score. He can't run. He's awful for club and country.
And we talked about this in the summer, though.
Yeah.
That he was going to either be a feast or famine signing for Liverpool. And if it worked, they would have won the Premier League, they would have won the Cup, and they probably would have won the Champions League. And if it failed, this is what we're getting.
The problem was the way he went about it. If he would have said, I want to leave, and he trained and was playing for Newcastle for the first game or first match or two, and then made the move, great. But he wasn't fit. So Liverpool, it is the hardest. It's always hardest to win it, the second year in a row. That's, but having said that, they're in 12th. Everton leapfrogged them today by beating United away by a 1-0, scoring after they were down to 10 men. After, I don't know how to say his name, Gaye.
Was it Idrissa Gueye?
Idrissa Gueye slapped his teammate and was sent off because you cannot slap anybody on the pitch. See, this isn't like American football. You get into a fight with your teammate and you take you to the sidelines. You can't slap your teammate on. You get sent off. It's the old Newcastle. It was Lee Bowyer and who was it? They got into a fist fight. Villa were playing. It's the last time Villa won at St. James's Park. It was like 2003.
I'm looking for the video. Oh, here it is. There's like a commercial that has to play before.
Yeah, that's why X and Peacock is quicker. But yeah, he slapped him after there was a mix-up. United got a chance, fired over the bar, and they started arguing. And he slapped him. And just astonishing stuff.
And what, you have to imagine there's going to be an internal penalty after that.
At halftime, Moyes is sprinting down the touchline to be the first one into the dressing room. So who knows what would have come from that. We'll maybe find out in the coming days. But yeah, Liverpool are train wreck right now. 6 wins, no draws, 6 losses. They're feast or famine. The thing is, they got 18 points, and they are in a cluster. 1 win, and they're in 4th.
This is the play.
See, it's going to be hard to see it, though, because it depends, because they went to replay.
Oh.
And you heard the roar with the red card coming out. So right now the argument started, so you're not going to see it. They go to replay, they come back, the red card's given. So that was just after. Keep going. Yeah, this is all as it was happening here.
This is the replay.
Yeah, so you see him.
So he's angry about something.
It was the bad pass, I guess. And that's why he lost the ball. Fine, have the argument, but he squared up and then he slaps him.
That's madness.
Yeah, and then Everton score like 7 minutes later, and then they win a 0-0.
How do you
tied on points? Everton tied on points with United. Liverpool down to 12th because it's all goal difference stuff.
Now what happens in the dressing room?
That's why Moyes sprinted back there. Was he there? Did he go to the team bus? Nobody knows. But even though Arsenal are 6 points clear, Chelsea at the top, it's all on below them. 5 points separate 2nd and 12th.
That's what makes the Premier League the best league in the world, I suppose.
And the clubs in 9th through 12th are Tottenham, United, Everton, and Liverpool. Just above them, 1 point, Bournemouth, Sunderland, and Brighton. Next weekend, Tottenham, United, Everton, Liverpool could win. Brighton, Sunderland, Bournemouth could lose, and all these big clubs are back in the the top 8. So it's crazy over there. But Liverpool. They spent £450 million, and we thought, oh, this is good. Isak was the wild card. And boy, are they having a tough time right now.
Yeah.
Reminds me a little bit of City last season. Roger went down. They just couldn't win a match. I think they go like 7, 8
It was like 7 or 8 without a win. Yeah.
And Liverpool's kind of in that a little bit. So Still, it's not their bad side, but everybody fell out of form at the exact same time. And Verts, somebody had a post up today. Somebody came back for United from a torn ACL, hadn't played a match in like 267 days, has the same amount of goals as Verts and then somebody else on Liverpool. I don't know if it was Isaac or somebody else, but they all have 0.
That's bad.
Yeah. So interesting there. So what else we got in the free-for-all?
The last topic that I had was it's apparently very close that Wilfred Nancy is going to be the next manager of Celtic.
I am very disappointed. I've been keeping an eye on this during the show because I wanted more breaking news.
Yeah, it sounds like it got quiet in Scotland right now.
Yeah.
There's ongoing discussions about which members of his staff from Columbus will be coming with him.
The other part, too, is they went about this the way it normally gets done, which is they spoke through the back channels, agents and representatives who aren't official. And I think they had it pretty much, they're not going to make the approach to Columbus. Celtic wouldn't until, nowadays they wait till it's pretty sure it's going to happen. It sounds like things are in a good spot. So they have made the approach now to Columbus to speak to Wilfred Nancy. Listen, Columbus isn't going to stand in his way.
No.
Because he hasn't renewed his contract.
He didn't renew his contract.
He's looking to leave.
Yeah.
So get a few bucks for him. Get $1 million or whatever you can. I think he's got another year left. So you can probably get $750,000 to $1.5 million. I would think, and that's fine. They got Higuain there. Down the line.
I assume he would be given at least a temporary job,
unless
if not
he takes him over with them. You don't know from his staff, but they'll come to all those agreements who he wants to take because all those staffers, new man comes in, none of them are guaranteed jobs. That's why they usually all go in groups.
Yeah.
Because this is the guy and this is who I work with. Every once in a while, a few will stay behind and they'll kind of be the continuity for the club, but usually it's anywhere from 1 to 3 or 4 go. And good for him. Good for him for earning that.
But you know what? He's worked within constraints for the last 5 years as a head manager. And he had some assistant coaching stops and things like that over the years where he worked in like the Montreal Academy and all that. He had a pretty good win percentage as Montreal's manager at a time where Joey Saputo was winding down his involvement in investment.
Yeah.
Where this wasn't the Montreal where he was, I'm going to go get as many players as I can and we're going to make this run at Champions League. And then he also then stepped into this situation in Columbus where you had an owner who didn't want to be around. And then there's a new guy who comes in and is like, I'm going to try to right the ship. And he sticks it out with him and has a better winning percentage there because they did give him a little more to work with.
Yeah.
And imagine what a guy like this could do, who could make a meal out of Montreal on a shoestring budget. And in Columbus with an owner who your choice to because he's worried about his Cleveland Browns. But he gives you just enough. Imagine what a guy like this could do at a club like Celtic where they're going to say, here's the pocketbook.
Yeah, and he won the title with Columbus, didn't he, last season?
He did.
Right? Aren't they the champions?
He did. And, here's a question. After the World Cup, could you see 2 Columbus Crew players making a move to him? His goalkeeper and his right back?
Who's his right back? I'm trying to... Arfston. It would be a good landing spot. And
I am a big fan of Americans in Scotland. I think the Scottish League isn't as bad as you think. The first 6 are good.
Yeah, and it's funny because a couple weeks ago, Hearts beat Celtic. We were going crazy.
Hearts have been horrible since then.
Hearts have won once since then.
Hearts are in big trouble.
Brendan Rodgers resigned.
Lost at the
O'Neill
weekend.
came in. They're winning like crazy. Celtic, I think, are now 4 points back with a match in hand. Here they come.
Yeah.
It's right back into the thick of it. So, Celtic they got the change they needed, and and now they're blowing the doors off. And now all of a sudden you're
The
going,
race is on.
Celtic could win the title by 12 points again.
I mean, listen, I am riding this Hearts thing to the end. I want to see Hearts win the title, but
Well, they don't have another international break to lean on to kind of right the ship.
no.
So here we go.
That was a good show.
Yeah,
I
very good
enjoyed
show.
it. Final words for you.
Yeah, final words. Hey, this Thursday, enjoy your Thanksgiving. Be
I
thankful
want fish.
be thankful for your family, friends, all the good things that you got going on, because there are plenty of people who are without or don't have good things going on, and they're in some trouble. So be thankful. And also be thankful that we live in the day and age we do, where we have the technology where for something like this, if we can't be at the same table, we can easily pick up one of our devices, hit the FaceTime, and see those faces on the other side of that screen, rather than sending a letter halfway around the world on a ship. When it takes
Which
a month to
it would have
get
needed
there.
to have been sent in September.
Yeah, so looking forward to the long weekend. Enjoy it,
Yep.
and then we're into the big December season.
Well, that'll do it. JJ, Alex, God bless. Have a great night, JJ.
Ciao for now.